Hello and welcome to the Gary Dunn Show. I'm your host, Gary Smith. And on today's show, me and Coach are going to discuss this past weekend's home victory versus the Seton Hill Griffins. We're going to look at standings, schedules, and more, and then also preview this upcoming week's ball game at Slippery Rock. But Coach, once again, a happy Monday for everybody in Vulcan Nation, and just a great win on Saturday night, Coach.
Yeah, was really happy with the way we showed up. I thought our preparation was good throughout the week. Our guys are locked in right now. We got to continue to do that. We've got meetings here this afternoon and practice this evening, but happy with our preparation leading into that ball game, and I think it showed through our play. And
you took the words right out of my mouth about preparation, because that's the first question I wanted to talk to you about. Last week we talked ad nauseum about the exciting win against IUP, but how tough is it as a coach and a coaching staff to keep everybody, because that was an exciting win. I think everybody that's a Vulcan fan was on cloud nine to about Thursday night, but you and your team don't have that luxury. You got to get right into it. But how difficult is it, coming off that emotional high and going into a home game that's kind of trapped between two, you can schedule the IUP and the Slippery Rock games on a schedule?
Yeah, I think we've got a really mature team right now, and I think they're doing a good job of understanding that it's about our week of preparation. And so our weekly schedule, we coaches come in on Sunday and review the game film and then start next week's opponent. We give our players Sunday off, and then they come in Monday at 2 o'clock. And after that 2 o'clock meeting, that game's over. We drop it and move on to the next, and then we practice not this time of year at 4 o'clock. So by the time we get up to the stadium at 4 o'clock, all our eggs are going into the next opponent basket, and we've moved on. And our kids did a really good job of dropping that. I was anxious to see our preparation on Monday and Tuesday if we were still living in last week's game, and we weren't. We moved on and started our week of preparation, and that's a testament to our guys.
And I tell you what, you kind of took the words out of my mouth, because I thought we were going to have the Groundhog Day answer about what was going to happen. But the other thing you touched on is your senior leadership and your veteran leadership. And, coming into that game on Saturday, just as a fan watching it, you could tell within the first 2 minutes that, like you said, last week was last week. This is a different week. And your team got out to a 28-0 lead in the first quarter and kind of calmed everybody's nerves on Saturday in Vulcan Nation.
Yeah, it was a start we needed. Listen, Seton Hill is a really good football team. Their coaching staff has done a tremendous job up there. Their defense creates a lot of problems. So for us to get out and score on the first possession was huge. And then we get a couple turnovers. We get a pick six by Jamal Martin. That was the kind of the start we needed, because their defense is really good, and they play complementary football. They run the football as good probably as anybody in the league. They've got a really nice offensive line and tailback, so they try and play ball control and really rely on their defense. And, the start we got, it kind of had to get them out of their game plan. As a coach, with 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter, you don't have a game plan for being down 28-0. So I was happy with the way our kids came out and executed. And we had big plays on offense. We had a big special teams play to create a turnover. Then Jamal Martin got a big play. So it was the start that we needed. And, there were still some laws in that game that we've got to get fixed and things we've got to work on. But the way we started was good.
Oh, the start was amazing. Like you said, a couple big plays, but that first drive and then 2 turnovers and basically set your offense up in short fields. And that's a dangerous situation for any defense to be contemplating with your offense with only 30 yards to go or so.
Yeah, we call it the main thing. We constantly preach turnovers, working turnovers. We start every practice with it, and that showed up Saturday. And then the offense did a good job of what they're supposed to do, is scoring in the red zone. When we got 2 possessions down there, we were able to convert them into touchdowns, and I just thought the whole start was good, but we got to continue to keep that pace.
And on the defensive side, in the early first quarter, you mentioned the Jamal Martin interception, but it was a great play by him. But if you look at the film a couple of times, you have an outside linebacker just bearing down on the quarterback, forcing that throw. So that's an entire team interception and another defensive score for your squad.
Yeah, turnovers are, right? Turnovers are about team defense. It's about putting pressure on the quarterback, trying to get him into making a bad decision. And then once Jamal gets his hands on the ball, he's got one thing in mind and did a nice job there. But yeah, it's total team defense of doing your job and letting opportunities come to you. We don't seek out opportunities. We try and play the right technique, make the right reads, make the right keys, and then let opportunity come to you through hard work.
And that opportunity and hard work has been paying off for your squad this year. Undefeated, Jamal Martin will be named for the 3rd game in a row PSAC Defensive Athlete of the Week. That'll come out after we're shooting the show, so you may not have heard that yet. I got a little text this morning to include that in the game, so congratulations to him. But another phase of the game that we always talk about, and is your special teams. Obviously, last week IUP came up huge, but a couple block kicks this week and a couple big returns to set up your team in great field position.
Yeah, I thought special teams had a good day. It was one of the things that we thought we had to clean up from the previous week. There were some things in special teams that we weren't happy about, or things that we had to work harder on. But I thought our kick return team did a nice job. I thought our punt team, Seton Hill likes to bring a lot of pressure on punt. I think they did a nice job. So overall, I was pleased with the work of special teams, but we still got room to grow.
And some stats from Saturday afternoon or Saturday early evening. Guys, what would you consider that? Afternoon or early evening or dusk? You're the coach. You can set whatever you want.
Early evening.
Okay, on early evening on Saturday, Noah Mitchell once again went over 300 yards, 27 for 43, 339 yards, 5 touchdowns. And then receiving, Derek Lockhart and Jaquay Jackson combined for 17 receptions and 5 touchdowns. And again, your offense spread it around, and a lot of people got, in the game on the passing part of it. Yeah,
I thought the offensive line did a nice job protecting. Seton Hill is a pressure-based team. They do a lot of zone pressures, a lot of different looks. It was a really good mental week of preparation through our offensive line. Our running backs did a really nice job of helping us pick up those pressures, and Noah setting the protection. But that's what I like about our passing game right now. We're spreading around. Each week you can see a different guy, depending on what defenses are doing, a different guy steps up. 2 and 3 weeks ago, Cam Tarrant had huge games. Now Jaquay gets back into, early in the year, Jaquay had a couple 100-yard games. Now he gets back into the fold with a big game. So like the way that Noah's spreading the ball around and putting it where the defense is telling him to put it, but give the offensive line and running backs credit for picking up some blitzes this week.
And I tell you what, if you watch the film, I definitely say go watch the replay of the game on CTV Sports 1, because just watch that offensive line play. It seems like on 90% of the pass plays Noah has all day just to kind of scan. And if you get somebody that has that athletic ability and mental ability, he's just going to pick it apart.
Yeah, kind of like the flip side of what we talked about on the other side is really team offense. Is everyone doing their job and doing their assignment, and we got to continue to improve in some things. Obviously, the run game, we're continuing as a work in progress. The totals weren't great. Part of that was we did have a bad snap and lost, 50 or 60 yards in the run game. That's something we've got to get corrected. But was pleased with the way they played, but we still got room to. I don't think we've played our best football yet.
And that's music to everybody's ears, because your team is undefeated and been playing some good football. But to know that there's some more in the tank is great this time of year. And one last stat I want to put out: Jamar Martin, as we mentioned, will be named the PSAC West Defensive Athlete of the Week. He had 4 solos, 7 total tackles, but that big pick 6. And enough talking about it. Let's look at these past weekend early evening highlights in the Cal U victory over the Seton Hill Griffins.
Takes the snap, firing to Lockhart, touchdown Vulcans. It's Derek Lockhart on the reception. Give Cal U 6 on the board. Received nicely by Seton Hill now. Able to get, and it looks like there was a fumble there on the play.
Yeah, ball came out
Cal
there.
U's saying they have it, and Cal U's going to recover. 2-step drop, quick pass to Jackson, and it's in there for the Vulcan touchdown, Jaquay Jackson. Taking the snap. Pressure, McCormick, intercepted by Jamal Morton Jr., and it's a pick 6 for the Vulcan defense. Jamal Morton Jr. coming in out of nowhere. The snap, it's a bad snap. They're going to play a fumbled snap. They're looking for the ball. Cal U saying they have it, waiting for an official signal. And wouldn't this be something here?
We got
and it is a Cal U ball as Seton Hill fumbles it. Mitchell with the snap, firing down the middle of the field. It's caught by Lockhart, and that's a Vulcan touchdown. Derek Lockhart again gets to the back of the end zone, and Cal U's up now by 4 scores now. Mitchell. And he finds Jaquay Jackson wide open in the end zone for a Vulcan touchdown. It's Jaquay Jackson yet again. Mitchell taking the snap, firing to Lockhart, and he brings it in for the Cal U touchdown. Derek Lockhart yet again registers another for the board.
Backed by popular demand and better than ever is late night dining in the Natali Student Center. Join us starting Monday, October 18th at the hot spot for evening dining, Natali Evening Eats, located on the second floor of Natali next to Umami. Open Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. and on weekends, 7:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Natali Evening Eats is a one-stop shop for your favorite menu items. Orders can be placed through our mobile app or at the designated Evening Eats kiosk. We can't wait to see you there.
Taking the snap. Pressure. McCormick intercepted by Jamal Martin Jr. And it's a pick six for the Vulcan defense. Jamal Martin Jr. coming in out of nowhere. And where did we see this before, Johnny?
We talked about him last week. We coming up with a big play.
And welcome back to the Gary Dunn Show. And we saw just right before this the play of the week, which was the Jamal Martin interception, pick six. And again, Coach, anytime you see your cornerback running unaccosted to the end zone is a great thing. But once again, like I said, the play, big play, interception, defense pressure. But once again, interception happened. You guys are looking for blocks.
Yeah, that's something we really work on is during our takeaway period, and our defensive staff does a great job of our guys understanding how to block and how to transition to be an offensive player right there. Blocking is something we work with our entire team every Wednesday. We come out and we start practice with everyone learning how to block, from quarterbacks to defensive backs to defensive line. So I think that helps us down the road.
And now we're going to switch over to Coach's favorite time of the show, and that's going to be graphics and scores. So we're going to have him look away from the screen for a little bit. We're going to look at the scores from this past weekend's action in the PSAC. Slippery Rock got the big win over Gannon, 63-21. Staying in the West, Mercyhurst over Clarion, 38-20. Seton Hill, of course, Cal U, 42-14. We won 42-14. And then the big upset win in the PSAC was IEP falling at home to Edinburgh, 21-17, and that will affect the standings in the PSAC. Coach, you never like to see standings, never like to hear standings, but for the fans, Caillou undefeated in first place in the PSAC West, right behind them, Slippery Rock. And looking over at the PSAC East, Kutztown has clinched a spot in the PSAC title game with a 6-0 over conference record, an 8-1 overall record. But Coach, that's a good segue to go into this upcoming week's opponent, Slippery Rock. This is a game that, as I mentioned in the first half of the show, you can circle the IUP game, you can circle the Slippery Rock game because they're rivalry games, and also you can bet that there's going to be a lot on the table. But first off, I know you've seen a little bit of film, probably
Sure.
more than a little bit of film on Slippery Rock at this point. What do they do offensively to be successful?
Yeah, really explosive offense. They're more of a spread team. They've got quality wide receivers. They throw the ball around. I think they're averaging 48 points a game, or I may be wrong, somewhere in the 40s, and they're only giving up 16 points a game. So they're an explosive offense. They will run it, but they throw it around two, three really good, receivers. Just a really explosive offense, well balanced. They're going to take their shots deep. They're going to throw bubble passes. They're really an explosive offense, and we're going to have to be at our best this week.
And on the defensive side, obviously a team with that record is going to have a good defensive mindset. But scheme-wise, what do they do?
Yeah, they're a base four down front team. They've got two really good cover corners. Their linebackers are active and strong. They got two defensive ends. They're really good. They're big inside. They got a really big D tackle. I mean, they are an aggressive bunch. They'll mix up their coverages. They'll play some man coverage. They'll roll to zone. They'll bring pressure. They'll bring zone pressure. Just a well-coached football team that obviously is the defending champs of this league, and they're 9-1 right now for a reason. They're extremely well coached, balanced football team, good on both sides, and really explosive in special teams.
And not only that, they're a great team, but also they're a very, very good team at home. And a road game that you have this coming weekend, we talked a little bit at the beginning of the show about preparation and leadership, and that's got to be times 2 or times 3 going into a game like this. 'Cause this is basically winner goes to the PSAC title game.
Yeah, and our guys, I don't think I'll need to motivate a lot this week. I think our guys will understand what's on the line, but it's about our preparation. I talked to our guys after the game and said, okay, you've put yourself in a position to play meaningful football into November. It's about our preparation. It doesn't change from week 1 to week 10. It's about how we practice, how we prepare, and ultimately how we go up and come out of the locker room.
And I tell you what, this Saturday's game will be a heck of an afternoon, so make sure to come on up to Slippery Rock this Saturday up I-79. As Coach and I talked about last week's show, having that great fan support on the road just adds so much more because, like you said, this is a big game. It's the winner goes to the PSAC title game. There'll be probably implications of the regional rankings, which we'll look at in a second. But, Coach, what's your appeal to get the fans up there?
Yeah,
other than just being a Vulcan fan?
I think Vulcan Nation's going to show up. I've talked to a lot of alumni that are planning on making the trip. I know our families will be there in full force, but we need you. If you're in the Pittsburgh region, come up and let's turn that place to red and black and get on our side and let's have a great day for Cal U football.
I tell you what, I have a feeling that you're right because, when we set up for the game, we have a little bit of time to go back and forth. So I get a chance to talk to some of the parents and the fans, and they're always like, we're going to see you next week and to see you next week. Can't wait to see everybody on the road. And, like you said, that just gives you just a little bit more
Absolutely.
energy.
What we need is everyone to bring a couple friends, right? If you're a Cal U fan and you're coming to the game, grab a couple friends, hand them a red and black T-shirt, and let's go up to Slippery Rock and have a good afternoon.
I love it. So bring a friend to Slippery Rock and fill the visiting sidelines because it's going to be a heck of an afternoon. But, Coach, before we put a bow on it, since, we have to say about everything. The regional rankings came out this past week, and Cal U was slated number 4 in the initial regional rankings. And obviously, there's still a couple weeks in the regular season. It's kind of meaningless to figure out where teams are going to be. But the big takeaways, all but one team won in the top 10. But, like you said a couple minutes ago, your team has done what you can to get in this position. It's just basically 1 week at a time.
Yeah, we concern ourselves with regional rankings after the regular season is when we'll take a look at that. We don't talk about it as a team. It doesn't have any bearing on how we prepare. We're going to go out and prepare the same way we have the first 9 weeks and see what happens on Saturday. But it's nice to be there. Our guys have put themselves in a position to be considered in the region, and we got to continue to be deserving and working, and all that stuff will sort out at the end of the regular season.
And if you had on your bingo card for today, Coach was going to talk 35 seconds on the regional rankings, you would have won a free coffee from somewhere because I already had my second question, but you covered everything. But finally, like Coach said, come on up to Slippery Rock this Saturday. It's going to be a well of a football game. We got 2 really good regional teams playing for a lot on the line. And Coach said, bring a friend. I say bring 2 friends, bring 3 friends. It's an easy trip. But if you can't make it, if you have a legit excuse, you can't make it.
Excuses this week.
Coach isn't signing any excuses this week. But just in case you can't get to him and get the excuse signed, CUTV and WCA will have you covered. The game will be live on CUTV Sports 1. It'll also be live on our portal on the PSAC network, and also the radio station 91.9 FM WCAL will have the action as well. So, Coach, another great Monday afternoon or Monday morning after. Geez, you got me. I asked you what time of the day the game was. You got me all messed up. But good luck this weekend. We'll see you on the road at Slippery Rock. And once again, just any last words?
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate the coverage you guys give us. And as we close out our home regular season schedule, just want to thank everybody from the cheerleaders to the band to the athletic administration for all that they do every year for Vulcan football, to our administration in general. It takes a lot to be a top-notch quality football program, and the support that we get here at Cal U is phenomenal. From the coverage you all give us to the Cal Times to the cheerleaders, the band, it's really a family. And then I've got to thank my wife and daughter. They are the ultimate coach's family. They host the tailgate every week for our alumni, and the things that they do. Just the support we get around here is phenomenal, and we appreciate all of it.
Well, speaking of your daughter, I just assume she's running the bleachers up there where we are, because every time we come up, she's putting people in position, telling people where to sit. How
a little
to cheer
superstitious, that one. She wants to make sure everyone's sitting in the right spot. So, now we just appreciate all the support that we get from everybody on campus, and let's move this place up a little bit, up 79, and let's pack that place this weekend.
And I have nothing more to add. I hope to see a lot of red and black in the stands on Saturday, and root on the Vulcans against Slippery Rock. For Coach Dunn, I'm Gary Smith. You're watching The Gary Dunn Show.